Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking whatever happened to PDRN skincare. Now, for those of you that might not have heard of it, PDRN was once one of the most popular ingredients in skincare. It originated in the Korean skincare space, but then became super popular and was found globally. And at one point was one of the biggest, most trending ingredients to be found in our skincare routines. However, in 2025, it seems to have disappeared as quickly as it arrived. Now, there's been a lot of trends in skincare this year. We've had exosomes, we've had spicules, we've had red light technology, we've had beef tallow. Loads of different trends, but PDRN is probably the one that has disappeared the quickest, and it's got a lot of people online questioning why. Now, I'm somebody that's actually used PDRN very successfully in their skincare routine, so when I started to see it disappear, pulled from products, things being discontinued, I started to do a little bit of an investigation to see what's going on, and in today's video, I want to share my thoughts, feelings, and opinions. So sit back, relax, let's talk all things PDRN skincare. Now, of course, in today's video, these are my thoughts and opinions, but I want to hear yours. What's your hot take on PDRN? Did you try it when it was super popular? And are you going to continue to use it now it's become less viral? If you are, let me know by leaving the heart emoji down in the comment section. If you're somebody that has never tried it, or you used to use it but you no longer do, leave the cross emoji and again, state why. That way we can see what the true opinions of the Mad About Skin community really are. As always, my thoughts in this video aren't sponsored and they aren't in paid partnership. I always turn down that coin because I think it just helps me to preserve my independence, and I don't want to be in the pockets of any multinational corporation. I want to be able to speak from the heart and not the wallet. So if you want to support me as a truly independent skincare content creator, the best way of doing it is by reaching down and giving the video a big thumbs up and a like. The more likes a video gets, the more widely YouTube will circulate it, which just means as many people as possible can discover our amazing Mad About Skin family, and for that, I'm always so grateful. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. So PDRN became super popular around 2 years ago, but like I say, in 2025, it seems to have disappeared without a trace. Around 2 years ago, you couldn't move for people online saying that they were using this salmon sperm facial ingredient, that it became one of the most searched for terms online. And in truth, whilst it was viral, it's also an ingredient that does have a lot of benefits. PDRN, which in some instances, though not exclusively, is derived from salmon DNA, is clinically proven to boost the rate of collagen production and can also reduce inflammation and irritation in the skin. It's got some great antioxidant properties and it can help support the skin barrier function. It's one of those rare ingredients that kind of has a multitude of different benefits, which is why I think a lot of people gravitated towards it and then stuck with it when it came to their own routines. That's certainly what I did. However, as with everything, it becomes super viral. At some point, that bubble has to burst, and it maybe happened a little bit quicker with PDRN than with some other viral ingredients, and I want to talk about it all in today's video. So what exactly started to go wrong with PDRN? Well, I think the main thing is what I referenced earlier, that salmon sperm skincare tag that unfortunately seemed to attach itself to this product. Now, PDRN can absolutely be derived from salmon DNA. That's one source. There are other sources of this ingredient, and whilst sometimes people thought it was almost trendy or a bit clickbaity to be able to say it was a salmon sperm ingredient, that also had a lot of negative connotations. Quite a lot of people thought, ooh, yuck, not for me. That's not going anywhere near my face. I'm not interested. And like I say, content creators tended to use that tag, that hook, to draw people in. But I think it often actually put a lot more people off than it lured into trying PDRN as an ingredient. This was particularly prevalent over on TikTok. I think here on YouTube, people took a more measured approach to describing PDRN, its formulation, and of course, its benefits. But on TikTok, when you have like 60 seconds to grab someone's attention, the salmon sperm facial tagline really took hold, and I think that ultimately put far more people off than made want to try PDRN, and I think that's a shame. As with everything in skincare, most ingredients are derived from something. They've been formulated, they've been purified, they've been changed many times over. It's not the same thing, and whilst, like I say, it might attract people in terms of views, just know that when you're using an ingredient, it's been purified, it's been refined, it's nothing like where it originally came from, and that's definitely the case with PDRN. I think another issue with this ingredient is, whilst it has a multitude of benefits, like I said, boosting collagen and elastin production, reducing inflammation and irritation, and supporting the barrier function of the skin, it's also one of those ingredients that I think people kind of feel, brands in particular, feel tempted to just put in everything. You could get PDRN serums, you could get PDRN containing sunscreens, cleansers, moisturizers, masks. It just exploded in popularity, and brands really chased that coin by including it in just about every one of their products. As a result, I think it just became overload. People were using it in too many different steps, causing irritation, and also people just became a little bit bored of the ingredient. When it became in everything and it was thrown at us front and center with everything we were watching online, I think people just thought, maybe it's just too hyped. And this is something we often see with Korean skincare and new ingredients that market introduces. It goes into overdrive and then people get that fatigue quite quickly. That definitely happened with PDRN, but that doesn't mean that it's not a wonderful ingredient. And what I would say is, don't let brands shamelessly chasing that coin put you off. I think there's space for a single PDRN containing product somewhere in your skincare routine. Find one that works for you and you'll enjoy the benefits of it. Just don't feel that you need to have multiple steps containing this ingredient. And then finally, when it comes to the reasons why I think PDRN is less popular this year than it's been previously, it's something that I call the downbeat derm narrative. Now, hear me out on this one. Online, I feel there's so many amazing online dermatologists, various social media platforms. Some of my absolute favorite creators are board certified dermatologists, and I just love watching their content and thank them for freely spreading their information and knowledge for us, the skincare consumer, to really digest and hopefully help us in our own skincare journey. However, I find that the online dermatologists tend to fall into two categories. Those that are always willing to try things out, look at ingredients, and really understand how consumers are using them and how they might play into an existing skincare routine. And there's that cohort of online dermatologists that just kind of dismisses everything that isn't a retinoid, a vitamin C, or from one of their favorite sponsored brands. Usually Neutrogena or CeraVe or La Roche-Posay. Those are like the three brands doing the biggest sponsorship at the moment. And if it doesn't come from one of those three brands or be like a core retinoid or vitamin C, they're not interested. And unfortunately, this narrative that PDRN is completely useless kind of has started to take hold. That's actually not the case. If you read a lot of the studies into PDRN, I think it shows that in moderation, as part of a comprehensive skincare routine, it can have some additional benefits. Do I think some people are overblowing the benefits of PDRN? Yes, absolutely I do. But I think to almost like knee-jerk to the opposite and say it's completely useless and you're wasting your money if you're using it, I think it is just a bit reactionary, and I don't think appreciates that people are looking for innovation, looking for newness, looking for something exciting in their skincare routine. And if PDRN can give just a little additional benefit, then surely that's worth celebrating or at least talking about. There are definitely some amazing online dermatologists that I think take a more comprehensive view of ingredients and how consumers interact with them. Dr. Shireen Idris is a great example of this. I love her content. The guys over at Doctorly, also phenomenal. They've spoken about PDRN, I think in a really measured way, saying yes, if used consistently, it can have some marginal benefit when it comes to barrier function and anti-aging, but don't believe into all of the hype that it's the only ingredient you need and it's going to be transformative. That, I think, is where that truth lies, and some of the backlash coming from what I call the downbeat terms, who always seem to, anything that's new just seems to say, no, it's useless, is the narrative that's really taken hold, which is why I think PDRN is becoming less popular. Obviously, I'm not going to name any names of dermatologists that fit into that category because I think that would be tacky and I'm not even wanting to get involved in any nonsense drama. But it is definitely worth taking a look and taking a look at different sources. There are lots of amazing online dermatologists which I totally respect and love consuming their content, and they have different opinions on different ingredients and products. And it's always worth taking multiple different views on board before determining what's right for your skincare routine, before people just dismiss PDRN out of hand. I think it's worth seeing both sides of that story. So definitely PDRN has peaked some time ago, and whilst you might be seeing some of the most popular PDRN treatments being discontinued, you're seeing people talk about it less frequently online, doesn't mean that you have to remove it from your skincare routine. There are still some great PDRN skincare products out there, and two of my absolute favorites are these. This is the VT PDRN Riedel shot in the strength 100. This is fantastic because it actually helps that PDRN get to where it needs to be using the spicule technology in here. Spicules were a huge trend in 2025, as was PDRN, both contained in this, and I think this is a really great advanced anti-aging product. It definitely works quicker than other PDRN treatments because you've got those spicules. It instantly plumps and hydrates, and in the long term you get some great anti-aging benefit. I also really love the Numbuzzin 9+ Glow Boosting Toner. I have sung the praise of this product so often. Actually, I think what's doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this product is the peptides and the other anti-aging ingredients, but it also has a dose of PDRN in there too. So if you want to get PDRN almost like as a little add-on rather than a core ingredient in your skincare routine, this is a great product to go for. You're buying this for the glow up, the luminosity, the radiance that it gives you, for the 50 different peptides that it contains, and you also get a dose of PDRN almost thrown in for free, which is actually how I choose to get this ingredient. I no longer use a standalone PDRN serum. I don't think it's necessary. I get my dose using this Numbuzzin toner, and my skin has never been happier. Hopefully this just explains where sometimes I think we can become a little bit alarmed when we see one of our favourite skincare ingredients suddenly disappear from the scene. What was just a few months ago hyped up and viral is no longer the case, and people feel, has something gone on? Do I need to remove it completely from my skincare routine? Absolutely not. Like I say, trends, they come and they often disappear as quickly as they arrived, and it's about understanding the context behind this to help people make the right decisions when it comes to their own skin's needs. I would love to know your own hot take on this, so sound off in the comment section below. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.